welcome back to Scents of South Jersey with me, Kellen, for another fragrance review today. Today we're going to be taking a look at the 2003 aromatic fougere released from the house of Yves Saint Laurent. It is none other than Rive Gauche. So what we're going to do, as always, we're going to break down the fragrance by taking a look at its box and bottle presentation. Then we're going to be taking a look at the fragrance's notes. Then I'm going to talk about its performance on my skin. Then I'm going to give it my overall thoughts, and then, of course, my overall rating. I don't normally mention the perfumer of the fragrances. I think I've done it maybe one or two times. I know I've absolutely done it with Kouros because that's one of my favorites, and so is this. The creator of this fragrance is Jacques Cavalier. So I think that's important to note because of how well renowned this fragrance is. And of course, before we get started, I do want to say, if you're new to the channel and you like what you see and you enjoy fragrance content, make sure to hit that subscribe button to support the channel. And if you have one, check out the Scents of South Jersey Instagram page for news and updates on the channel, such as giveaways, IGTV videos. I've been starting to do those a little bit more, and of course, photos of fragrances from my collection. Unfortunately, this is a discontinued fragrance. So if you want to get your hands on a vintage sample, you can always reach out to McBag on eBay. He always has vintage samples, and he in fact has the vintage version of Rive Gauche. This is more of the recent versions, although it's still discontinued. But let's get started, guys. All right, so let's take a look at the box for Rive Gauche by Yves Saint Laurent. This is the version that I have here. Pretty simple box. You can see that kind of line gradient there, and it says Rive Gauche Pour Home by Yves Saint Laurent. It is a little bit smaller bottle, not 100 ml. It's a 80 ml, so it's a 2.7 ounce bottle. On the top there, you've got the YSL symbol. It came with this tape, and nothing going on there on the sides. On the back, you have some brand information, your barcode. On the bottom, you do have your serial number written in there as well too. It does open up just like that. There's a flap there too. So the bottle is square bottle, kind of similar to like the Encre Noir bottles, but this, so I don't know, I believe this one obviously was out first. So you see it says Rive Gauche Pour Home, Yves Saint Laurent there. On the sides, it does list some notes. I think it lists the most prevalent notes. That's what I pick up on at least. And then on the back, I actually got this customized with my initials. I thought that was pretty cool. It was a birthday gift. My mother bought it for me, and months later, it was discontinued. I believe I got this one in 2018. So cap comes off. You can see the cap there. The distribution, this is my scent of the day today. So I'll spray some on. Very good distribution. Shoots out nice and direct, but also widens out there at the end. So really nice presentation for Rive Gauche. All right, so the notes for Rive Gauche, on the top you have star anise, rosemary, and bergamot. And then in the middle you have lavender, geranium, cloves, and coumarin. And then in the base of this fragrance you have patchouli, oak moss, gaiac wood, and vetiver. So on the side of the bottle, it does list some notes you can see. So this says, and it's all in French, it says lavender, geranium, patchouli, vetiver, and bois de gaiac, or trees or wood of gaiac wood. That's what that means. So I think the most dominant notes are 100% the star anise. You get that right away, and it's beautiful. It's so natural smelling, and it's not like harsh or anything like that. A lot of times anise can be very harsh, and this is so smooth. It's just a testament to this fragrance. And then you get the lavender, and I get a slight oak moss and vetiver base, but not much of that. I think that the top notes in this one are the stronger ones, at least in my opinion. That's what I detect. But those are the most dominant notes for Rive Gauche, in my opinion. Okay, so the performance for Rive Gauche is surprisingly pretty good. It's not like a beast mode projector by any means. I think it projects pretty well for a good maybe hour and a half to 2 hours. And then after that, it's gonna sit in like maybe a 1.5 to 2 foot scent bubble around your skin. I'm definitely getting over 8 hours. It does leave a nice sillage trail, I think, for the first half of the life cycle of the fragrance in terms of performance. It leaves a good scent bubble. I'm still getting hints of it as I'm driving home from work. So again, over 8 hours, I always consider good. And it is obviously a high quality fragrance, and the notes stick with you, and it has this like sweetness in the end that is, it's not overly sweet at all. It's still masculine, but it definitely gives it a good scent bubble that I think it carries out. It becomes a skin scent maybe at hour like 9, and then after that, it's pretty much gone. All right, it's time for my overall thoughts for Rive Gauche. I mean, there's so much to be said about this fragrance. It's absolutely one of the most classy, smooth, just high-end aromatic fougères there are. Why it was discontinued is beyond me. It's probably because it was awesome, and Yves Saint Laurent likes to discontinue their awesome fragrances. But, you know, this is like the ultimate fougere scent in many ways. There are a lot of fragrances that are come close in terms of like their barbershop status in terms of how good they are, but this one is always mentioned and should always be, you know, considered one of the best for sure. It's so nice and fresh and clean and masculine at the same time. It'll boost your confidence. It's extremely versatile. So I think you could wear this any time of year in any weather situation. But I think where it really shines the most is in the colder weather. So I've been wearing it this past week. I just haven't had a chance to do a review on it. I don't know why. I've had it now for a little while, like I mentioned, 2018. And I'm so happy to have a bottle. I don't care that it's not the, you know, vintage version in that tin can. That's going to look a little bit something like this. This is a body wash. I actually just got that to match. It's the only other matching product I have for this, and I have some alternatives I'm going to talk about for you guys in just a moment. But this is definitely best for the cold weather. I think formal situations, due to how rare it is I would only really use this on a special occasion. I would not make this my everyday scent, although it could be. Like if this were still in circulation and production all day long, this is a great signature scent. If you're somebody that wants to have maybe 3-4 fragrances and you like to rotate, but one is your favorite and you want something a little bit more mature, you don't want anything sweet or bubblegum, but you want masculine but also classy at the same time, not overly harsh. Like this doesn't, you know, jump out with a super green oak moss, and sometimes that might turn people off. As much as I love scents like that, as you well know, this is one of the best ever. The anise in here is so good. The lavender is so good. I can smell it now. And when it just comes off your skin, even like just letting it come to you, I think is even where it smells the best, as opposed to forcing a scent, you know, and actually smelling it on your hand. It's one of the best fragrances ever, and it performs really well. And I just wish I had more of it. I haven't used that much of it, and I don't want to use it unless it's a special occasion. So like a formal office, you know, business meeting, or maybe like a date, you know, really nice date, or, you know, a nice holiday. You're going to be around some people and you want to smell really nice, but you don't want it to be overbearing, but you also want it to perform. You got to find that happy medium of, is it going to perform well? Are people going to get noticed, or excuse me, notice the scent? As opposed to it being offending. This would never offend anyone. You could wear it to work. Like I said, you could wear it anywhere, but it's so rare now that it's been discontinued, unfortunately, that I would save it for special occasions. So let's talk about some alternatives to this fragrance. There are some clones, and then there's some alternatives to this fragrance. So an alternative is a scent that's in the same vein, but it is not a clone. It's got its own thing going on. We'll start from the cheapest. The first cheapest one I could think of is Cuba Black. I did a full review on this one. This stuff has got that same similar vibe. You know what I mean? I don't have much of it left because it's, you know, not a huge bottle, but you can get these for virtually free, and they're great. They're not good performers, but they smell really nice, and they're in that same vein. Obviously, it's going to be rougher, and then to take it to the next level when it comes to a rough anise, everybody knows this next one. This is Rive Pour Home. This is an awesome fragrance as well too. Again, in the same vein, not a clone, but they share some similarities. They share some notes. This is absolutely 100 times more smooth than this one is. And it took me a long time to really like this one, and I do now, and I'm glad I do now. But this one was a love, instantaneous love. So a clone, the only clone that I have of this one, I know of two, but I only have one, and that's American Blend by Fine Accoutrements. I actually sprayed that on this hand, and it's almost dead on, maybe say 98%. It's maybe the anise note in the beginning is a little bit more synthetic, where I think, you know, Yves Saint Laurent is going to be higher quality. This is going to smell a little bit more natural, where this is a little bit harsher, but that's okay. This one performs really well. It sticks to clothes. Like this one, it's funny, sticks to fabric more than this one does, but this one performs better on skin. So overall, this is a better performer, but this one is really nice. And I think I got it for 25 bucks. I know Fine Accoutrements, again, they're out of upstate New York. They're like a wet shaving company. I'm not really into wet shaving as much because I have to shave too often. That would be a whole other animal of products I would need to buy, and I don't want to do that. But this is a great alternative, or excuse me, clone, and it's 30 bucks. They have an aftershave, and they have an aftershave balm. So when I want to wear Rive Gauche and I want to shave, these are the two products I use beforehand, and they're so similar that when I spray this on, it would drown out any differences between the two lines of fragrances. So, you know, again, there's a lot of things out there to get you as close to Rive Gauche, and the other clone that I know of is River Fougere by Dua. I actually went to purchase that recently, but they were sold out. So I was able to pick up this body wash. It's a hair and body wash. This is somewhat what the old presentation used to look like, box and bottle. So that's my thoughts on Rive Gauche. Again, one of the greatest fougères of all time. Okay, let's talk about my overall rating for Rive Gauche. Let's talk about the presentation. You know what? As much as I love this presentation, it's clean, it's classy, it's nice looking. I like the square. It's different from a lot of the bottles, but itself and the box are relatively basic. So I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. I think I would have preferred the old school can But just, you know, it's just too expensive to go out and find that bottle right now. And I just, now that I have it, and I've heard that the scents are not that different. So again, for presentation, 7 out of 10. For performance, I can't complain. 8 hours, it's great. I'm getting 8+ hours, but I'm going to keep it at an 8 hour. So that's going to be an 8 out of 10 for performance for me. And then the scent is amazing. It's a 10 out of 10. It's perfect for what it is. I absolutely love it. I wouldn't change it at all. So an overall rating for Rive Gauche from me is going to be an 8.5 out of 10. So this is an excellent fragrance. If you can find it, again, McBag has samples of the vintage. If you just want to sample, just to try it, just to get your nose on what it is so you can experience it. He has 5 ml and 10 ml fragrances for, you know, great prices, and you can get them from him right on eBay. And again, very knowledgeable, very friendly, and he'll send that to you if you purchase it, again, from him. So, you know, that way you don't have to go out and spend a ton of money on the vintage bottle or any bottle, because they're all vintage and discontinued at this point. So again, 8.5 out of 10 for Rive Gauche. Okay, guys, that was my review of 2003 Yves Saint Laurent release, Rive Gauche. I want to hear what you guys think. Do you have this fragrance? Did you have it in the past? Do you like it? Do you love it? What do you think of the review? What are your thoughts on it? Do you dislike this fragrance? I love to hear from you guys in the comments section. I always enjoy all of the interaction, and I really appreciate you stopping by and hanging out with me today. I hope you enjoyed the review. I will see you all soon in the next video. Take care.